Welcome to my channel Syncro once again, and today's topic is scientific techniques of Taylor. In my previous video we have studied about the scientific principles which were developed by F.W. Taylor. Now it is time to see what were the techniques which were developed by the Taylor. Basically these scientific techniques were conducted by him in various experiments at his workplace. So let us see what were these techniques were. First one is your functional foremanship. So Taylor suggested in this technique that the factory should be divided into two departments, that is planning department and production department. It was felt by the Taylor that workers must be free from the burden of planning and they must concentrate on production activities. So that is why he suggested the division of the division into two departments, that is planning department and production department, because he felt that one supervisor cannot be specialized in every activity of the organization. So he suggested that each department there must be some functional experts to supervise, guide and instruct the workers. So he stressed on appointment of 8 functional experts, and these 8 functional experts were divided into two departments, that is your planning department and one is your production department, into 4. So in planning department there was first root clerk. So root clerk foreman was responsible to fix up the sequence of steps for performing mechanical or manual job. Means what were the steps to be should be followed in performing a particular job. That was the duty of the root clerk. Next one is your instruction card clerk. This foreman was responsible for giving general instructions necessary to carry on the job in a particular specified manner. So this was the duty of this foreman. Next one is your time and cost clerk. So time and cost clerk foreman was responsible to fix up the time for starting and completion of job. Okay, so he was also responsible for preparing cost sheet for every job. Next one is your disciplinarian. Disciplinarian was the foreman responsible for performance of job in orderly and systematic way. So these were the 4 foremen which were conducted or which were constructed under the planning department. The next comes your foreman under operational department. So in this first one was your gang boss. So he was responsible for arranging all the machines, tools and other resources required for performance of the job. So basically he used to figure out the arrangements of the machines and tools which is necessary for performing a particular job in an organization. Next one is your speed boss. So this foreman was given the duty to check out the timely completion of job, whether a particular job is completed on time or not. So it was the duty of speed boss. Next one is your repair boss. So this boss ensures that machines and tools are kept in good working condition. And the inspector. So inspector was on the duty to check out the quality control of the output. So he used to inspect whether the quality of the output is good or not. So this was the duty of the 4 bosses which were under the operational department. So next comes your standardization and simplification of work. Standardization means maintaining quality standards. Means whatever the output is produced, it should be a quality one. And standardization of output is possible if standard is maintained right from selection of tools, equipments and machines to use. Maximize the output by keeping in mind the quality standards. So quality doesn't mean that only output. Quality starts from the initial stage only, whenever you're selecting the tool or equipment or the machine while producing that particular output. So that is what standardization means. Next comes your simplification of work. See, simplification of work means cutting down unnecessary diversity or varieties of one line product. See, today we see an organization produces a various varieties of product, but that product should be produced, that product only should be produced which is profitable or which is fruitful for an organization. If a particular product or the particular line of product is not earning more and it is increasing the cost of production, then such type of product or such line of product should be cancelled out or eliminated, so that the efficiency is increased and there is a reduce in cost. So that is what the simplification of work basically means. That is cutting down the or eliminating the unnecessary line of product or varieties of product. So this is what your standardization and simplification of work means. The next method is fatigue study. This technique of scientific management is conducted to find out the frequency of rest intervals, duration of rest intervals, and the number of rest intervals taken while performing a job. So fatigue word only means थक जाना. आप कोई भी काम देर तक करते हो तो क्या होता है, थकान हो जाती है. In the same, when an employee or a worker works in an organization for a longer period of time, there is a chances that he will take some rest while performing the job, as he will feel fatigue while performing the job. So वही find out करने के लिए कि वो कितने बार थकता है, कितना टाइम लगता है उसको थक कर काम पे आने के लिए, और कितने बार जब वो जॉब कर रहा है तो वो थक रहा है. सो ये पता करने के लिए टेलर ने क्या बोला था कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में फैटिग स्टडी हमें कंडक्ट करना चाहिए. So Taylor suggested to observe an average worker when he is performing a job and note down the time when that worker starts getting tired and when his efficiency level starts decreasing. Then give him break. This time be noted to decide frequency of rest interval, and during break, after how much time the worker became fresh to rejoin the work can be the time of rest interval. So if frequency and time for rest interval is fixed by observing workers, then definitely it will be more scientific. So it should be not decided by the rule of thumb, but by performing a fatigue study in an organization, we should find out the frequency of rest intervals, duration of rest intervals, and the number of rest intervals taken while performing a job. So your next is method study. So this technique is conducted to find out the one best method or way of performing the job which keeps production cost minimum and makes optimum use of resources of the organization. So your method study में आपके टेलर ने ये suggest किया था क्या कि method of production should not be decided by rule of thumb, but all the methods must be tried in the organization, and the one which brings maximum benefits with minimum cost must be selected. For example, for production of shoes, there can be a labor intensive method and can be a machine intensive method. But to find out which method is best for the organization, one should try both the methods, and the method which brings maximum result to the organization should be selected. So the method study says that the best method should be selected that which brings less cost to the production and makes optimum utilization of resources. So this is what your method study is. Next comes your time study. It is conducted to determine the standard time required to perform a job, setting up the standard targets for workers, determining the number of workers required to perform a job, and distinguishing the workers in efficient and inefficient categories. So time study is basically required to conduct to find out the standard time which is required to conduct a particular job, एंड क्या स्टैंडर्ड टारगेट होना चाहिए, और हमको डिस्टिंग्विश करना है कि कौन सा वर्कर एफिशिएंट है एंड कौन सा वर्कर इनएफिशिएंट है. सो टेलर ने क्या सजेस्ट किया, टेलर सजेस्टेड टू ऑब्जर्व एन एवरेज वर्कर व्हेन ही इज परफॉर्मिंग अ जॉब विद अ स्टॉप वॉच इन हैंड एंड नोट डाउन द एवरेज time taken by the worker in completion of job. Okay, and he said that observation should be taken for the 100 times and then take out the average time. This time should be considered as average time for performance of the job. Keeping this time in mind, the targets for workers should be fixed, and the workers who are able to achieve their targets in standard time are average worker. And if the worker who achieves the target before the standard time, then he is regarded as an efficient worker. And if the worker failed to achieve the target in standard time, then he is an inefficient worker. So in this way, a time study can be conducted in an organization. So next one is your motion study. See, motion study is conducted to determine the movements of workers when they are performing the job, to differentiate between productive and unproductive movements, cutting down unproductive movements and designing suitable equipments to reduce wasteful movements of workers. So this study is basically conducted to minimize the movements of workers while they are performing a job, and finding out which movements are productive and which were unproductive. And the unproductive movements should be minimized by adopting a suitable equipments. So this is what your motion studies says. For example, while in observing an average worker, if it is observed that worker has to bend frequently to pick up the tools from the toolbox placed under his table, Then a stool can be placed near his seat to keep the toolbox so that worker does not waste his energy in bending again and again. Same energy can be used for improving the production capacity or efficiency level. So this is what can be done by using the motion study. Okay. Now next comes your differential piece wage system. So this system emphasizes on paying different rate of wage for efficient and inefficient employees. It suggests paying extra wages to efficient employees to motivate them, whereas it will motivate inefficient employees to come in the category of the efficient one. So your differential piece wage system says that the different wages should be given to the efficient employees and to the inefficient employees. Okay, so to conduct or to adopt differential wage system, Taylor suggested that the company must fix a standard rate of wage for workers producing standard output or their target. The workers who produce more than the standard target must be paid a higher rate of wage, and those who are producing less than the standard output must be paid with a rate less than the standard rate. So this is what your differential piece wage system says. If the worker produces the standard product in a standard time, then he will given the more wages, and if he doesn't do the work on time, then he will pay the less wages. So this is what a differential piece wage system says. So these were the techniques which were developed by the F.W. Taylor. I hope you have enjoyed the session, and if you have, please like, share and subscribe to my channel Syncro. Thank you once again.